Well, welcome to another episode of Coronacation. I'm Naomi White in Brisbane, Australia, and this afternoon I'm joined by Lisa Fryar in Dubai and John Dobbin in Oman. How are you, Lisa and John?
Hi, thank you so much for having us on, Naomi.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Salam, very good. Thank you very much, Naomi.
Thanks, John. I'd love to know a little bit more about you both. Lisa, tell us a little bit about you.
Yep, okay. So I am a very proud Sydney-sider who moved over to Dubai a few years ago to take up an executive role in an airline. So I work with Emirates Airlines. I dragged John over here with me and our youngest son, Tom, who's since returned to Sydney this year. My favourite role in the world is being a mum to three gorgeous kids. So I have an 18-year-old, a 24-year-old and a 30-year-old. And I'm a travel junkie. So that's kind of that's a little bit about me personally. What I do for a living is I'm the head of medical benefits, so I look after the health and well-being of our staff and their dependents. So that's about 100,000 people that I get to look after their healthcare needs here in Dubai and actually globally. And on top of that, for our flying crew, if they become unwell overseas, I look after them there, and passengers in flight. So when we have medical emergencies on board, we look after those passengers too.
Wow, that is one big role. Have you got a large team?
Not at the moment, I don't. Unfortunately, we have had to make some cuts, and sadly, that means a lot of my team have had to go. But no, I have a medium-sized team at the moment.
Okay. And hopefully it doesn't shrink any further.
Hopefully.
Thank you. And John, what about you? Tell us about yourself.
So I do management consulting, and I specialise in the area of agile and adaptive organisations. So I help organisations become more adaptive, which is an interesting time to see if the theory works, isn't it?
Well, it's actually never been more important.
Yeah.
What are you doing in Oman?
So I was on assignment with a telecommunications company over here, and we were running a 3-day workshop. And when I emerged from the workshop, the border closed. So I've been stranded in Muscat for, what is it, Lisa? It must be
4 months.
2 or 3 months now. Sorry?
4
months. 4 months.
Wow. So did you get a heads up that the border was going to close?
No. Well, when I'm in workshop mode, I don't read emails or anything like that. I'm just focusing on the client. So literally, I put the tools down, because I used to drive backwards and forwards between Dubai and Muscat every week. I've got an apartment in Muscat and obviously our house in Dubai. And I went to jump in the car, and the news. I looked at the news, and the border closed. So it was like, okay. So I suppose I'm spending the weekend in Muscat.
It sounds like such an admirable thing to be so client focused that you don't read your emails or check your texts. And yet, probably on this occasion, maybe not so clever. So 4 months is a long time.
I could do anyway. I couldn't have walked out of a client workshop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, I think we were given about a 24-hour notice that the borders would close, but even that, we didn't know how long that was going to be for. And we look back now and just think it was really naive, but everything it indicated it was going to be about 2 weeks, like 1 month tops.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we thought it was going.
Do you have any sense of when it's going to open again?
I'm going to be attempting to drive back shortly after this video conference, actually.
Oh, yes.
We just got notification of a new piece of paper or the bureaucracy is mind-boggling. But there have been other stranded U.A.E. residents that have crossed the border in the last 24 hours. So fingers crossed.
So aside from being separated for 4 months in different countries, how else has this COVID-19 affected you both, perhaps in your respective locations?
Well, for me, so from a work perspective, it really impacted us. So working in medical services, looking after our staff and their families, when it really hit, it really hit. And also having a background in crisis management. So I was brought in to look after the crisis management side of our staff. And when it was at peak, it was 15-hour days, 7 days a week. And so that was for at least 6 weeks, of this period as well. So work-wise, fatigue. We also, before this started, we didn't have a work from home policy at all. So that had to be written and executed very, very quickly. So working from home, making sure that we had technical capability to, touch base with people and whatever, we're able to do that. Working in a very stretched healthcare system here in Dubai was very challenging and emotionally draining. A lot of the times, especially on those long days, really trying your best for a positive outcome for a patient that sadly didn't end well. So emotionally, it was very, very challenging. As a leader in the business, making sure that my team were mentally prepared and looked after. They could look after themselves. So they had the tools and the downtime so that they didn't burn out or have fatigue. Being a leader and also saying things like, it's okay not to be okay. I remember having a one with one of my team, and I said to her, you know what, I'm actually just having a really bad day. And that's not something that I had normally ever said to one of my staff before. And she said to me, oh, I'm so glad you said that, because, you're normally just you're normally such a Pollyanna, and, and all of a sudden you just said, you said that you're having a really bad day, and now it gives me the green light that I can have a bad day too. So just being aware, like being more self-aware and, in the business. As a travel junkie, the reason that we came here to work with an airline was because we love travel. So not being able to jump on a plane on a Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon and get off to Europe for the weekend. I know that sounds like really odd, tough luck, but that's impacted. We love exploring cities. We love, going there. And I think the biggest impact for me personally, though, has been how isolating it's really, really been. So here in Dubai, we've had, so when I say we've been under house arrest, like even going out to my garden to water the garden, that was not allowed.
Oh my God, you literally weren't left out of allowed out of your house.
Yeah, so house arrest was literally house arrest. I could open the door for grocery deliveries, but that was basically it. And I'm a really positive person, and I'm very, very comfortable with my own company. I've done lots of long-term secondments in various places, and I can manage that. But being locked in your house by yourself was something that was very difficult to navigate. We only just went back to work this week, back to the office, and I love just walking the hallways and seeing people and just understanding how critical those hallway conversations are, and just actually seeing people connecting, and it's tough not being able to go up and give someone a hug and a kiss hello, but so we kind of have to back off on that. But so it affected me in a really personal way as well, just through that isolation.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Is your team multinational?
All multinational, so we have 182 different nationalities. So it's a very diverse team. It's an awesome team. So yeah, and I miss them. And we connected a lot on Teams, on Microsoft Teams, but it's not the same as seeing people.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Thanks, Lisa. John, what about you in Oman? Like, how is this affecting you?
How did it affect? Well, the income just stopped. So as a external consultant, the minute the COVID, basically everything was stopped. All my clients just shuttered business. So I went down from consulting 4 days a week, which was fantastic, perfect, down to 2 days a month.
Yeah.
So that's created a whole bunch of financial stresses, because there's still bills to pay.
Mm.
But anyway, there's nothing much I could do about that. It was really just that was out of my control. So there's an old hackneyed saying, which I don't think is really comes from China, but something about the opposite of the other side of opportunity is crisis, the other side of crisis is opportunity.
Yeah.
So I used the opportunity or used the time to do something which I've been trying to do for many years, and it's deep dive, it's an intellectual sabbatical, and deep dive into one of my areas of interest, which is complexity theory.
Oh.
So I've been absolutely hammering my research. I've written hundreds of little micro articles, or little zettles as they call them, all sorts of different interesting research, which is now taking my whole consulting practice and my own intellectual conceptualization of the world to whole new levels. So I've actually really enjoyed that opportunity for the sabbatical, and I've also enjoyed the opportunity, and I'm very fortunate the apartment in Muscat is right on the beach, and they didn't really close it off very well. You could sneak out and get around. So just about every day I've been down the beach exercising. I've lost a lot of weight. My cooking's gone to a whole new level, very healthy. So I've used the time, I think, pretty well to do things which I never had time for before, working hard.
This is what I love about this COVID time. Like, so many people have found themselves with excess time on their hands and have actually started playing in an area that was of interest, but they never had the time before. So how interesting around complexity theory, because it's probably never been more relevant or needed right about now.
It's very, very, very interesting. And we could carry on for hours about that one, but probably not the scope of this conversation.
Well, I look forward to the book on complexity theory. So what advice have you got for others around the world that may be, dealing with something that may be similar to your circumstances?
For me, from a medical point of view, I would just suggest that you listen to subject matter experts. These armchair experts that come out with, various theories. I think that just creates anxiety. The rumours that go around they're not great for mental health. So, listen to experts. Have some good structure in your day. Stay connected with people, and really importantly, stay really healthy. So, make sure you've got a well-balanced, healthy diet and exercise every day, because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, if there are no ventilators or no beds for you, then it's not fantastic. So yeah, really stay healthy, really look after yourself.
And Lisa, do you have any advice as well for how to cope with house arrest from an exercise or well-being, mental well-being point of view?
Yeah, so for me in house arrest, I discovered a channel called Treadmill TV, which was just perfect. It was so good. So I would run, and I still do it. So every day I run in a different city every day. So it gets my travel addiction juices going, and it also, keeps me a little bit healthy as well. So I run in a different city every day. So and I've got a cat. So I've become a cat woman. So if you've got something there that moves that you can talk to, that's really good as well.
Thank you. Treadmill TV, I'll have to look that up. And John, what about you? What advice have you got?
So I think the thing which has been most helpful for me is developing the practice of deliberate mindfulness, of setting aside time to meditate. I used to meditate a long time ago, and I let it go. I brought it back. It's a skill to develop, and it enables you to abstract yourself from your emotions and understand what's going on. And so that's, I think, has been extraordinarily important for me. And I've just both sitting meditations and also moving meditations through Qigong, and I do that at least twice a day, and it's really, really, really helped. So my advice would, download an app, learn how to meditate, and just do it. And the other one, I also agree with Lisa's idea about looking after yourself. I really make sure I get lots of vitamin D. I don't put any sugar into my body. I'm probably the healthiest I've been for a long time. That'll probably change tomorrow once I'm back into the expat community at Dubai with gin and tonics and beers and all type of stuff. But it's been very good. Hopefully the mindfulness will counteract that. And the other one, it's really been helpful, is to create virtual social spaces. So every Tuesday, we have one of my consulting partners in Hong Kong. We do consulting around organisational misbehaviour, all the toxic behaviour. So we've created this group called Drinking Dialogues, and we get to get all people from all over the world involved in leadership and organisational change, and we just talk and have discussions, debates for a couple of hours. And it's just wonderful to have that. And I think, you know, when we're isolated, we're a social species. And if we can't have physical contact with others, the next best thing is to create deliberate social spaces. And in fact, I'm also doing this with my clients. I'm making sure that we're setting up social spaces so that their employees can just have virtual water cooler conversations, have these liminal spaces, which are not at home, not at work, but in between, which are so important.
Oh, I completely agree with you. That sounds fantastic. I love your thinking. So fingers crossed you're going to get out of Oman and back home to Dubai this afternoon. You guys haven't seen each other for 4 months. What plans have you got? You've got a favourite?
There is a bottle of champagne that's already chilling in the fridge, and I'm getting some lamb chops, so I'll get them out. If he does cross the border, we'll have lamb chops for dinner and champagne. But tomorrow is our work day as well, so Sunday is our Monday, so it can't be too much of a party tonight.
Oh, Sunday is your Monday.
Yeah, so we do Sunday to Thursday.
Ah, okay, right. What about you, John? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, same. So it's in Sharia law. So so tomorrow, yes, I've got to be fresh for a video conference. So, you know, I've pivoted my consulting role into kind of a crisis management role. So I just help their teams focus on priorities and push through actions. So yeah, sometime tomorrow I'll have a video conference with various senior stakeholders to help them prioritize bits and pieces. So I've got to be relatively sober as well. So
how long's the drive from Muscat to Dubai?
About 5 hours, but I think with the they'll do nasal swabs at the border and all that type of stuff. So probably going to be about 6 or 7 hours.
Okay. Well, I've got my fingers and toes crossed for you that you get across the border and you get home tonight. And I feel very privileged to have spoken to you both at the 11th hour of your separation. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
And
thank you, Naomi.
Thank you.